Hello, and welcome back to Sharing a Chapter a Day. This is Do, Ra, me, and today I will be reading Chapter 62 of Engagement in Peril by Dara Ado Sup. Chapter 62 is titled "'Twas My Year." I had a big year this year. I have experienced and accomplished much so far, and it was only getting better. Well, I was getting better. In September 1997, I had taken the third class petty officer exam for my rate of hospital corpsman and found out that I had passed on my first try, which often most who take the exam don't make it on their first go. And I put on my third class petty officer crow in that December of 1997. It took some doing by the good officer in my clinic then to get my crow on my shoulders. Earlier, before I was promoted to my third class status, several people in my department didn't want me to be promoted. It was my chief and leading petty officer. Those were the same asshole who tried to screw me over all the time then. They thought I should wait another year or two, and because they were jerks and they couldn't do anything about it, because the officer in my clinic didn't let them prevent me from reaching my rank. They override their decision and promoted me to what I had deserved and which I had worked for so hard, for so long. I'm glad that I had people then who were looking out for me and wanted success for me and look out for my welfare. I was surely lucky to have those sort of people, wonderful people in my life then. Thinking of them often put a smile on my face. And sometime and and something wonderful happened to me that year as well. In December, I found out that I was selected to the Boost Officer Commissioning Program. And to celebrate my being selected to Officer Candidate School, Huerta, a fellow corpsman, got me drunk at his house during our lunch break. There were several of us there at his apartment that afternoon. All were medics who worked at the Naval Medical Center. We all bought and brought food to his place. While eating and talking about my plans and goals once I get to OCS, Huerta gave me some red wine, and boy, did I get wasted shortly after. I only drank a bit of the alcohol, maybe a sip or two. Well, actually, I drank the whole glass. And when I returned to work, I was somewhat drunk and tipsy. The doctor and the other staff laughed over my slight stupor, and luckily my commander let me sleep it off in one of the exam room. That was so nice of her to allow me to get some rest over my ignorance, and everything that day went well as normal, as usual. Everyone in the entire hematology oncology clinic and the internal medicine department were proud of me for being promoted to third class and being selected for the Boost Officer program. Even Hammerer and Tilly gave me congrats and praises. I was quite proud of myself then. And of course, Tilly gave me something extra as well. You were the very best then, Dara. Great at all you did, and you got your way with everything you aspired to be then. What the fuck has happened to you since then, huh? I guess you're going to tell us about what had happened, huh? Aren't you? I just hope that you yourself realize what you have done to yourself. During the times that I didn't spend with Benevolence or my family back in Long Beach, I would take the city's bus and trolley to Via Casino in Alpine or Sequan Casino. I usually end up losing some money in the process. Sometime I'll play bingo and just munch off a buffet. Since I wasn't driving then, I took the trolley everywhere in San Diego County as well, going to various places and chilling for the moment, easing my mind and relaxing. While I was living in San Diego, a friend from high school who was working with me in the school cafeteria back then at Poly found me and somehow knew where I was staying at and contacted me. So we began to reconnect and often hung out together during our free time in San Diego. Since then, Vanny has become a good friend, a really good friend. We have shared much together. I wish her happiness in all she do. Vanny is a Cambodian girl about 62 inches and about 110 pounds with amber skin, nice smile, and a kind heart. While hanging out with her in San Diego, I met her older cousin Sam, who she was staying with at their family home in San Diego. Vanny was going to school there, to San Diego State then. She and Sam would sometime come to pick me up from Balboa Naval Command and that I was at. They came straight to to pick me up from my BEQ. From there, we would go bowling and eat out at various Asian restaurants. Sam was always treating me and Vanny to various outing, always offering to treat and pay for all for everything. Sam was a good guy as well. I guess he knew that I wasn't much making much in the military. Sam was working with metal work that back then in the warehouse of sort, cutting and reassembling screws and bolts for various customer and market. He made a pretty good earning then. Vanny's a wonderful friend to me. Vanny is a wonderful friend to me. I'm so glad she was around when I needed someone to talk to and be with in San Diego, especially on those days that I was away from home, from the comfort of home. She and Sam kept me sane from being in the military with various activity and outings then. We were all quite active then when I started hanging out with them. We often had lots of fun during our outings. Mostly we were bowling. I also met Yohi, who was Vanny's foreign exchange student friend from South Korea, who was living with and in a foster family home in La Jolla. He was a good guy and easy to get along with. As a group, we did many things and outings together, going places and dining out, trying new food and learning new things. I really enjoyed myself then for the first time ever since there was a first time for me. I really appreciated what Vanny and Sam did for me then. I wish them both well and good fortune in all they do. I was quite lucky then to have known them. While I was living in San Diego in a studio apartment not far from the Naval Medical Center, and when I was away from home in Long Beach, I often allowed Vanny to use my place when she needed it, at time when she needed her space from her aunt and uncle in San Diego. So she would go and stay at my studio apartment for the weekend. She always kept things in order and was good about taking care of my place while I was away. We were good friends and we shared what we had. Eventually, Vanny moved to Irvine to continue school there at the University of Irvine, the very same one that Aaron went to and that I also had a full ride scholarship 2 years back. Though I had to turn it down on account that I had joined the U.S. Navy 6 months earlier before I graduated high school. Although she had moved, I continued to hang out with her all the time. And we did the same old things. Go play miniature golf and just hang out at various fun center. One time on a weekend or so, I stayed over at Vanny's dormitory apartment in Irvine, where she was living with her friends, Mary and her boyfriend and his brother. Vanny had come to pick me up from San Diego, and we shared her room that night, wherein I was on the couch and she was on her bed. Before falling asleep, we stayed up for a while talking about this and that and just life in general. Maybe we sort of hoping something would more happen, something would happen more between us that night. But I was happy that things went the way it did. Nothing happened. I didn't want to have any regrets later on. Mind you, I did all this behind Benevolent's back. I didn't bother to tell her of what I actually did during my weekends away from her. I didn't want her to worry about what we had then, and I still cherish, love, and adore her all the time, all the same. Shortly after that, Vanny had moved herself to San Francisco and went to school there as well. She was moving all over the place in California. I guess she hadn't found a place to settle down. Now Vanny's back home in Long Beach and married to some guy who is much older than her. She had married him to help him to get his visa and residency and stayed in the state. I wish her happiness and success always. She now has a beautiful baby girl. I was one of a few friends that attended Vanny's wedding reception at Hak Heng restaurant in Long Beach off of Cherry and Anaheim, and luckily I was seated with some people I knew. It was a nice wedding. I gave the bride and groom $100 in a white envelope as a wedding gift, and to say congrats and such. And she and her spouse went around each table for blessings and such. Several years back, when I spoke to Vanny, she was working as a nurse assistant in a local hospital, and she was going to ULA to finish her nursing program in Los Angeles. And then she is still married, happy, and working as a nurse at a local clinic and living with her family in a condominium in North Long Beach. And then she moved to Pasadena, Texas, working as a nurse, while her husband opened up his own shop of sort. She had told me they are not planning any family yet, but recently Vanny has given birth to a beautiful baby girl. That's good thinking on her part. Smart she is. I'm proud of Vanny for her accomplishment and future aspiration. Congratulations, old friends. Much luck and success in all you do. Thank you for listening. This is the end of chapter 62. Be on the lookout for chapter 63, titled Public Indecency. This is Do, Ra, me, and I'll see you later. Thank you.